Is Roman running the meeting through an Apple or an iOS device by any chance?
It should be live now.
Check. Yep, it is. All right, here we go. Now we're cooking with fire. All right. Okie doke then. Let's again. What am I? Got to stop the okie dokes. Okay. Hi everybody. Welcome to community call number 71. We don't have a lot of presentations for you, but we have some interesting ones, and we have something new toward the end, which I'll get into. We unfortunately had 2 cancellations, well, really 1 postponement and 1 cancellation, which happens very rarely, but it does happen. So as I usually say, everybody, please turn your cameras on, show your good side, give us those big bright smiles. Please save your questions until the end of every presenter's presentation. And for our YouTube guests, please leave your question or comment in the stream thread, and we'll get to it at the very end. Right. Okay. So regarding any new proposals that may have passed or token distributions, there were exactly 0, unfortunately, because as mentioned last week, we were expecting delays, and my prediction came true. I would like to just say, as everybody might be aware, there's a reshuffling going on of the initial members and global governance, and you have to just understand, I know, look, there's a line outside the door with people with torches chanting, give me my tokens, give me my tokens. It's a lot more complicated to change the giver multi-sig than it is just a regular multi-sig, and there's an onboarding process. I mean, if we look back to when Freeton was first launched, it took over a month. And I'm not saying it's going to take over a month. Believe it's not. I promise that. We're trying to resolve everything this week. But will there be a token distribution this week? No, there won't. Will there be one next week? There's a high probability, but I will not make any guarantees. And as far as the queue of new proposals, and I know there's a bunch, I know you guys are all waiting, that will probably happen sooner than token distributions, but I guess I'm just asking for everybody's patience and to please bear with us a little longer. If you do have any real concerns, you can direct message me and I'll be more than happy to explain. I probably will say that I wish it was organized a little differently, but I'll kind of leave it there. Okay. So that's it. All right, let's start the show. As usual, Mitja, please, tech updates. Go ahead.
Hi, all. Well, there is not a lot. Like we're still organizing the data from RastCup. It's just enormous amount of data. So we didn't have disks, believe it or not, to put all the data in. We just got them on Saturday. The provider could not give us that amount of space that we just need to put all the data in, which is incredible if you think about that. So we got the disks on Saturday, and we're still in the process of downloading everything into that. Unfortunately, I wanted to finish it by Monday, but it's still ongoing. So once it's finished, I hope like it's really just you know, maybe like should have been today, but I don't know. So it's close. Once it's done, we have a leaderboard. Once we have a leaderboard, then Pavel is like putting together the proposal for the redistribution of the rewards for the RastCup. It's basically the same status as last week. I don't know what happened to that, so better ask Pavel. Like if the proposal is
for the forum, and there was discussion in the validator group. I mean, there was lots of discussions.
Yeah. So can you comment? Like it's your proposal. So all the
yes,
numbers.
yes. So that was quite simple. So extension for lock period from 2 years to 4 years. Increase of lock stakes. The maximum from 500,000 to 600,000. Then also increase number of reward winning places from 200 to 300, and there was and the last point was about additional rewards that raised the most of comments. So the question was like the vesting period for additional rewards. I wrote my personal opinion like 3 years, but people said like, well, it should not be that long. But I mean, that's the most, I think, point which got a lot of comments. And by the way, there was a fourth proposal which I asked, community several times to propose something regarding those night race. How to reward guys who made it. So I guess this also should be part of the amendment, but there should be ideas how to reward those validators.
Well, you heard it all. I don't know. It's like I'm trying not to, like, I don't have an opinion on that personally. Meaning that, like, I think that it should be in general kind of lines of the thought that we have, that the long-term validators should be like rewarded with a lock stake, and that the validators need to run the infrastructure to which like people will stake the tokens. And if people don't stake the token with a particular validator, then like there is nothing the community should do, because it's not like we need to remember all the time we're talking about proof of stake. Proof of stake has a particular game mechanics behind it, and this mechanics is very important that it works. If you just give tokens away, stop working. It stopped working, and the whole network, like the whole incentive mechanism, stopped working. So we cannot just give away tokens, guys. This is not about it. Like that's not the purpose. But of course the community need to kind of sponsor some, but the sponsorship cannot replace the risk. Like the risk factor is critically important to be presented. So if you don't risk your own money, if someone else has give you this money, it just stop working, and that's it. So you need to remember that, despite the fact that we want to help everyone and we appreciate what you do for the network and what everyone does for the network, this is still that aspect of this should be preserved. So it should create incentives for token holders, both token holders and validators. So token holders need to be presented in every equation that we do. I'm not against rewarding some of the efforts that validators did for last 6 months, like with some tokens, but this should be really limited. It should be really respectful of the people who buying tokens with their own money. So like, yes, of course, there is a value of what validators doing, as there is a value of what developers doing and so on. And this value is you can calculate it, right? So when you calculate the value, I mean, we all know the costs of the validators equipment and the validators, like we will know the costs of running the validator, not only from the point of view of course data centers. There is obviously an aspect of admin works and you know, DevOps and so on and so forth. So but we can calculate this is not a secret. This is calculatable. Right? So it's countable. So and remember that you still need to have this aspect of risk. And then you also have the long-term reward if you like running the DPool and RustCup DPool, which is a very lucrative DPool. Like I'm sure there will be a lot of investors, like people or hodlers who are, you know, who are going to stake with this within these DPools. And I know that projects are looking into staking into this DPool and giving their users portion of this revenue in a short-term staking. And there are like many aspects of things that you can do, like the business that you can run. On top of that, but if we just forget that and just start compensating for everything, giving away tokens, then we destroy that motivation. We destroy this economy and we destroy this network. So I don't know if you want to do that.
Does anybody have a comment? Okay.
I think we just need to bring it to conclusion already. And I know it's close, but everyone's been waiting for a long time.
Well, there is a community discussion which is very important. I think that like it cannot be just someone's decision, right? So it's not about bringing that to conclusion. It's about taking as much time as necessary to like discuss all these issues. And there are several proposals and there are long discussions about that. That's fine. I mean, that's totally fine, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I see Michael has a question. Go ahead.
I think that we're complicating things a bit by mixing all the different rewards and mechanics into one place. Maybe I would suggest to to start with the easy part, say for some rewards for running the validators through the half-a-year cycle, close this one, move to the next one, etc., etc. Because now there are problems with the minimal stake that has risen from the start of the race in February, on the point of the announce of the race, and by the launch of these Rust pools, the min stake will differ a lot. There are ideas about increasing the number of winning places and stuff. So maybe we could just start with small discussions and solve these issues one by one. That's really my comment on the matter.
You cannot do that, Michael, because the rewards for the RastCup is what should have been motivating and actually did motivate people to join the race. Then there was it never been, and please don't turn it like upside down and saying like we asked people to join this race to be paid for its participation. No, that wasn't the case.
It's not. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at
so,
all.
So we cannot really say. So what I'm saying is
I'm
we
really
cannot really
quoting
separate.
you.
Yeah, but we cannot
I'm really
separate the
quoting
issues. I'm telling you, Michael. Just don't need to quote me because I'm here. I can say for myself. I mean,
sure.
we cannot. You cannot separate these things. Simply speaking, like the long-term motivation of RustCup is what brought in, all the validators in, and of course it ran into some hurdles and it did some it was some problems and it took longer. So I suggested that we need to kind of compensate, but I didn't say that this compensation need to first compensate for everything. I never said that. I didn't say that this compensation should be separate from the RustCup. I didn't say that, and I don't think it should be. Like it's a complex of motivational incentives, which altogether forms this kind of a motivation long term of what these validators like motivated to do what. Like
I guess that these are, in
going
my
forward,
mind, there's different issues because the long-term story is very, very complex. Yeah. Both by attracting the stakes into G pools and stuff. Yeah. And I see it as an additional topic for discussion, like the minimal stakes that I have announced earlier. Yeah. And maybe we will just drown in a vast variety of different subjects within one matter. And my point being is to maybe trying to separate, make the first proposal to say that, okay, the minimal stake has changed for this sum. Let's make a mechanism of giving the additional tokens with no validation rewards, like an example, but to fit into the mainnet validation. Discuss this proposal.
I don't really understand it. What do you mean fit into the mainnet validation? I just don't understand it.
I don't remember the calculation exactly, but as far as I remember, the minimal stake has
The minimal stake is
grown.
less than what you need. Absolutely, and should stay this way.
Stake is less than- Well, okay. Sorry to
I mean,
bring it up.
that's
maybe I'm not.
Yes, it
too
can be
deep in
decreased.
Sorry.
It can be decreased, and that's what Pavel is proposing, like to augment the stake, like the log stake amount to the validators, kind of. But it cannot be just give away. Like this is not.
No, I'm not saying about giving away.
What is the point?
I'm not saying about giving away for free.
Michael, what
for
is
nothing.
the point?
Let's do one at a time, please.
What is the point of running another depot? Like, what is the point for the community to subsidize running another depot? And not only to subsidize running another depot, but also to increase, like, they vastly increase the rewards for this depot. What's the point, Michael? What do we want to achieve? Why do we do that?
We don't. Okay.
Well, we do, but simply, like, there is the motivation is like it start to work if the people will stake into that depot money, right? And so
Yes,
without them doing this, we don't really need that.
Yes.
So if we just give validators, like augmented amount of log stake, and they start the depot, and they don't have any motivation to bring additional investors in. Nobody.
Oh, no, never was my point. I totally agree that having the validators to become more active, to promote their depots, to make sites attract some traffic, to gather stakes. That's a totally thing that I support totally, because you have to work.
So what is your suggestion? I don't understand them, because that's exactly what we do.
I'll
like
get
what
back
Pavel is proposing
to you additionally. Okay, I will. Okay, sorry.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, rainbows, puppies, unicorns, and cupcakes. This is what we're here for. It's awesome. Good debate. Good discussion. All right, let's move on to our next presentation. We have Pavel from the DeFi Alliance. I believe it's Pavel, right? And he would like to present something called Punion. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Is it Punion? And I understand you have a demo that you'd like to share with us?
Right. Hi, guys. So thank you for the intro. No worries, but you've made more than one typo in pronouncing things. So first, I'm Pavi, and we are
Pavi. You got that, Roman? It's Pavi, not Pavel.
Right. It's totally fine. By passport, I'm Pavel, but that's kind of the nickname that stuck. Correct. So I have a few slides for you to share. And before I jump into that, I was thinking to tell you a few words, because that's the very first our community meeting I'm attending. And it's actually pretty cool, because I'm a little bit, just my background, so I'm a little bit distant from the crypto world. So I'm from a fintech bunch, and we're developing something with their smart ATMs, making them friendly to crypto and friendly to wide range of financial services. So basically, one of the services is the digital banking, others are for retails and loyalty. Thirds, of course, are for crypto world, because topping up your crypto wallet or e-wallet or card or with an ATM is something that you cannot do today or to a large extent. And we're solving that. So the reason I'm here today, because I'm backing up our colleague of mine who is leading the Pi Capital Union, as our ecosystem of crypto services. And we've recently partnered up together with Pi Capital Union under the GlobalCloudPayments. That's their ATM side of the business that I'm leading, in order to kind of have that, let's say, our first pilot on our connecting cards, crypto, and smart ATMs, right? And the free TON community seemed to be like a very kind of right people to talk to. And as I said, I mean, it's pretty cool that you guys have such passionate kind of conversations and involvement in driving and kind of are a little bit fighting in a good sense over difficult topics. So I have a different agenda a little bit for this conversation, but as it feels now, I might be joining the next meeting just for kind of educating myself a bit more. Though I'll share a few slides, and it's about the card program that we've developed for Freeton as a pilot stage. I'll describe in a few words a bit more, and Dan would be really appreciate your kind of critical feedback or thoughts on this. What do you think? Let me see if I can share my screen.
Should be able to, yeah.
Right. Cool.
Yep, we see it.
Right. Is it live?
Yep.
Perfect. So what we do for our partnership with Pi Capital Union is basically democratizing crypto as much as we can and make it convenient as it would be our cash or usage in our daily life. To do so, we came up with a pretty simple solution. On one hand, on the other hand, something which is not available for the community today. We do have our MasterCard certified, white labeled debit card, which we can connect with our XP wallet, which is basically our crypto wallet, which is powered by our stablecoin and connect to the exchange platform. These two things together, of course, complementary, because obviously you can use the card for any sorts of payments, and you can use app for top-ups, withdrawals, or cash-ins, cash-outs, or buying, investing, and so on and so forth. So when it comes to the card itself, we do have this today mostly as a B2B proposition. So we make it pretty much as our corporate cards or loyalty programs, which are on one hand IBAN driven, like IBAN based cards. On the other hand, they are crypto powered. So that's the unique advantage of this card. But at the same time, talking about the community, we had this conversation and a little bit of a debate with our colleagues the day before that the community itself is not really kind of a B2C environment. So the community, which is led by the community itself, is more over our kind of business partner and its form rather than individuals, even though it consists from individuals. So I thought it's an interesting angle to see how that frame would land on what you guys trying to build and develop here community-wise. And when it comes to the card itself, this is, that's the exact same MasterCard you would have in your pocket if you're a traditional bank client or digital bank client or any banking service. So it has connectivity to all sorts of pleasures that any card have. Plus, of course, when we speak about the cooperation that we envision as a, let's say, pilot for Freeton contributors, this is where the interesting conversation starts when, of course, we can scale this across the community based on your preferred kind of conditions or what you would like to achieve. And if this is something like a card and the possibility to make your daily payments in Freetons are not linking directly to fiat currency, would be overthink that you say, yeah, that's something interesting. Let's talk and discuss how we can make it happen. So basically, our mission here is very simple. It just give you the very understandable medium between our digital and physical worlds when they're kind of the purchase of things happen, and also making sure that it brings value to the decentralized community of contributors you're building here with Freeton community. That's where we are standing. that's what I was trying to explain. So on one hand, we have crystals, which is the thing of you, or in the middle, we have the card, which can be the balance of this card can be in basically any currency, but we can make it linked as a default to free TON. And on the further right side, you can see a smart ATM, or that sort of my field, where we are integrating all sorts of our digital services inside of that smart ATM. And as a part of the roadmap are not very distant, but let's say by the end of the year, we are going to integrate cryptocurrency or exchange cash in and cash out, are not only for our own cards, but for any cards, because our ATM will be powered by exchange platform. So to say, it will still be very much functioning as a traditional ATM, depositing and withdrawing, and it will have quite a few additional functionalities, which is beyond what our ATMs today can handle when it comes to money remittance, for example, or even issuing instant accounts or on the go or while standing in front of their smart ATM device. So we could be linking our things and kind of making some partnership scenario between our free TON, between Pi Capital Union and the smart ATMs by GlobalCloudPayments. And it seems like together it can evolve in something viable and valuable for community, and obviously to create value and create business. So speaking about the card, we were thinking that actually it would be really cool that a person or a community can decide for themselves which card they would like to have. So design it as an open conversation. So it can be some kind of our community-based work to choose the design, or maybe even personalized for everyone, or for some groups or parts of communities, they can decide for themselves. Or this is something I would just kind of as a creative mind put it there and see if this is something which will be supported. On the other hand, of course, it's about the demand. So I would appreciate if you can scan the barcode, land on our pre-order page to see if there is actual traction and people are willing to have free TON based card in the coming days. And we do believe that if this is kind of, and I mean, after this presentation, I'm not getting boos and go away, and this is a conversation to have further on, I do believe that our decent referral program, which is kind of based more on the needs of community and are kind of introduced from your side, not to kind of frame any outside perspective, would be much appreciated. And I'm very welcome to discuss this details on what would be the best referral program for free TON community to engage with. So that's pretty much all from my side. I'm not sure if I cannot see their screens and people, but if anyone have any questions or ideas during the presentation, I think that's the right time to ask and raise your hand, or if you have time, because I'm not sure if I made it.
We do. It's an interesting presentation. I would love to hear some questions and comments from everybody, please.
I can start by a more general question. I see a presentation, a partnership proposal from you guys from like a week ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago, Pi Capital Union partnership proposal. Is it the same thing, or is this something different? Because this one talks about easy pay. Am I confusing something, or it's kind of the same thing?
So the card we have here on the back end is easy pay card.
Okay. So I must have missed that one.
It's part of our features integrated into the smart ATM.
Then there was also Euro stablecoin, EUPI.
Correct. So that's
a different project, right? That's a different one.
Oh, that's the very same one. So basically, when I talk about the crypto wallet, which we pair together with the card, this is the XP, and XP is basically the stable coin of EUPI. So that's EUPI EUR as it's called. So it's all the same story. It's just a little bit framed under different sauce. But the partnership proposal is the prerequisite to this presentation today.
Sure. Thank you, Pavel. So that was my thing, just to double check if this is the same thing. But I assume some other folks penetrated deeper. The DeFi Alliance folks, I don't know if somebody wants to make comments. Joanne has questions, so I shut up.
Did you say so you shut up?
No, he said he's going to shut up.
No, just letting you speak and ask a great question.
Yeah, I followed the QR code. So I have a question. If you could just tell us a bit about this. It says a mutually beneficial referral program. What does that include? What does that dive into? What does it mean for the community?
That's a great question. And as I honestly mentioned in the last part of my speech, that this is something I'm more than happy to discuss with the community. So basically with you today. So if you think that are some kind of benefit-based referral program to scale the card program across the community would be a good idea to have. This is something which we can definitely discuss.
For example, so these benefits could be sort of rewards for using the card, for example, or...
Right. So of course, I mean, so basically, when we talk from like a business perspective, that's in a nutshell a card program, which is a crypto-friendly card program. So the more cards are there in use and the more transactions are there, the more transactional revenues generated based on this whole process. So there is a way to use that revenue to incentivize the developers of that business, community members or leaders, or in a source that it kind of creates value for community on the one hand. So people can actually use that product to solve their daily financial needs without necessity to link them to fiat currency. On the other hand, of course, it's so I mean, I heard a few times the word purpose in conversation or in the beginning of the session, but I'm more kind of, I mean, we also have a purpose in terms of the product we're developing for sure, but there is also a business component. So it's also linked to monetary refunds. I would be looking somewhere in the middle to make it valuable and also interesting commercially wise for all the partners involved, for the Pi Capital, for GlobalCloudPayments, for EasyPay, and for, of course, Free TON community, because basically that's product that can be happening across you guys. So that's something which, in the end of the day, if it doesn't land or you don't need it, there is no project.
I assume for every transaction there would be a fee taken from as a service fee.
I had the same question. You said low exchange rates. What are they?
It's very good question. I did expect this in the beginning, so I would carefully shy away from it, because I do not know the details of the card program on their numbers level. The colleague of mine will be joining next session or next week, who is basically the leader of this project and knows the nitty-gritty. If it's all right and if it seems interesting, I would save that question till the next week to go into numbers, commission fees, or rewards, or referral program and things of that nature.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, you said IBAN compliance, so I'm assuming it's EU, so it can be used all across the EU.
Absolutely, it's a European-based kind of concept.
Okay, that answers that. Okay.
So I can tell you guys all about smart ATMs and all other things if you are interested. But when it comes to the crypto, I would rather not impress you with my low education on that side.
We're in the same boat, my friend. I'm just kidding. I guess, yeah, well, all right. So okay, maybe this is a stupid question, but and somebody can just say, Ron, you're stupid, stop asking stupid questions. I guess what would be the incentive to continue to use tons versus using this card as just a means to withdraw? Well, I understand that you can use it as a payment tool, which is fantastic, but what would, if it's going to act like a debit, more like a debit card than anything else, then would it not incentivize people more to withdraw tons into whether it be fiat currency or something else rather than actually use tons?
Well, I see it from both sides. So when we look at the kind of at all aspects, and I'm talking about more kind of the closed loop scenario, when you have token crystals, when you have a card, when we have the gateway or as smart ATM to between digital and cash, or you kind of close the loop. So if you can make all sorts of transactions without stepping out of this loop, you don't need fiat currency anymore from one hand. On the other hand, if you still want to top up your Freeton card with their cash or with any other top up, or you are very welcome to do that from our smart ATM, or you can do this on the directly on your card or account or via digital sources. So I think it's not like, it's not like people will start using only this or this overnight. So it's a pretty steady process of raising the penetration of new things. So this is something what we from ATM side see with cash payments. So it's still enormously high across Europe. Like the penetration of cash is still very, very high. It's decreasing. There is no doubt about that. But it's still much lower than our digital transactions, including crypto transactions. So I think some kind of that tendency, maybe with a different pace, can be happening across fiat and Freeton card. So for the community, or even to scale the community, because now it has the value of the network has the actual usability and the use case outside of the network itself. I'm not sure if it makes sense, or I'm just.
It makes perfect sense. It makes absolutely perfect sense.
I mean, community can grow in the fastest pace from the growth points outside of the community sometimes.
Adoption. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I think where this makes sense, or kind of for this place.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for your answer. Does anybody else have a question?
You're welcome.
No. I normally don't do this because we usually get to YouTube questions at the end, but because it's relevant, I just won't get it out of the way now. Somebody's asking, how will the card be distributed and what user data is going to be collected?
So that's a very good question. Again, I will answer the first part of the question. So the distribution of the card is a very simple process. The idea is, of course, to pre-collect the the first initial number of pre-orders to understand if this is kind of the viable scenario to go. Once we have our limited viable number to work with, it's distributed by mail. So basically, you receive a card with instructions, and that's basically as any other card application you would do. That's very much the same. The application process would require, of course, all the regular good things as their KYC and stuff.
KYC AML, yeah.
Correct. Yeah. But then, yeah, you would do that with any other card.
That answers that question.
The second part of the question is about the referrals, right? And oh, sorry, what was the second part?
The second part was what user data will be collected, which I think you answered through. So basic traditional KYC.
Yeah, if you're thinking from our compliance perspective, yes. When it comes to storing the data, so there is no, today there is, so if it's a community-owned card, then basically the data belongs to the owner. So we do not have an intention to own the data. So that's the KYC provider who facilitates compliance needs to own that. So in this case, we are tech provider to facilitate that need.
Independent third party. Yeah, and Anton is I think he's trying to assist, is stating that the ease of the deposit and withdraw of tons gives people quick access to 5% staking. It's a good reason to buy tons using this card, not just to sell and get fiat. So that actually answers my question.
Correct. So yeah, with the stablecoin, you also are secured from the exchange volatility.
Excellent. Fantastic. Thank you, Pavel, very much. And yes, please do come back. Do come back next week. And if we have any more questions that come up, please don't disappear just yet.
I'll stick here for a while. If you guys have any questions or suggestions, you can discuss here in the chat, or you can reach out to me on our LinkedIn or with the application QR code. There is a contact details, so you will find.
Yeah, and I believe your proposal is actually up on the forum. So if you go to forum.freeton.org and look up Pi Capital, PI Capital, you'll find it and you'll be able to ask the question there as well.
Awesome, thanks. You know more than me about that. Amazing. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
I try not to advertise it, but yes, I do. Okay.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate your attention and questions.
Thank you very much for coming. It was a wonderful presentation. Thank you. Very informative. Okay, let's get to Anastasia. She's here to report from Wiki Subgovernance, including a global comparison report, as I understand. Is that right?
Right.
Okay, so if you will, please.
Yeah, of course. Can I share my screen?
You may.
Mm-hmm. So here it is, our report.
Yep.
As for Wiki, now it consists, it has 22 world languages, more than 1,000 articles, and more than 100 authors and translators. And we grow like around like up to 100 articles per month, something like that. As for this, not a long time ago, we realized that some members of our community thinks that our subgovernance is about to, like what we do is just the page in the global Wikipedia about Free TON that consists of 2 pages in Russian and in Azerbaijani languages. So that's not correct. We have like separate Free TON Wiki, and it looks like this. You can see and not confuse it in the future, please. So what has been done? We set up the quality control system. So every original article, every content creation, is pre-checked by a team of review editors. So the quality of all our content was grown. And translations also are checked for a percentage of machine translation. And there are different thresholds for Slavic and non-Slavic languages, because we have mostly content creation in Russian. So for Slavic languages, this threshold is a bit higher. Also, editor tags have been added. This is such tags in the wiki as reviewed. The reviewed articles needs articles that needs finishing, and the articles that needs editing, because there are some may be some old articles, and for that. It was done for people that they can see how they can rely on this information. So about the structure of wiki has been greatly improved, including all articles now has its own categories. We also updated old and added new aggregator pages for articles of homogeneous categories. I will show you how it looks in the Wikipedia a bit later. Also, cross-language inter-wiki links have been made. I finished it like tonight. So for every article in the wiki, there is a cross-language inter-wiki links. And each month, all new articles are sorted to categories and added with cross-language wiki links. Just a moment, how it looks in the Wikipedia. So this is our wiki. For example, this article. You can see here on the other languages, like in English language. Just in a big Wikipedia, you know. Bahasa Indonesia, sounds like that. And here is the categories also for every article. That's our own categories. Yeah. So. Also, all information regarding work in Wiki was upgraded and structured. Our worksheets were reorganized. It's all about our tables, and it's kind of more convenient now. An article creation guide and formatting tips has been created. So if you join the Wiki Telegram group, both international or Russian, you can see in the pinned message, like very big, like absolutely all the information regarding work and Wiki. So if you wanted to learn something, you can go there. Or if you maybe have troubles with something, you can ask in the chat. Also, new voting requirements increased the responsibility for judges. We recently our team translated the draft of Freeton white paper in Russian. You can see it both in forum and in our Wikipedia. And we recruited new members. It was like several months ago, and maybe we find another. So about comparison. The Wiki community has done analytical work to compare the Freeton Wiki to other crypto Wikipedias. This will allow you to see the results achieved by the Freeton Wiki and Wiki Subgovernance. So our folks selected 23 crypto Wikipedias, different ones, for comparison, and analyzed the following publicly available data. number of articles, all articles, English articles, Russian articles, the amount of languages, active authors in different languages, and registered users. And by this comparison, Freeton Wiki received 3rd rank. Also, you must understand that Binance Academy is a kind of centralized thing. And both Binance Academy, Wikipedia, and the Bitcoin Wiki, who ranked like 1st and 2nd places, were established like earlier than ours. And you can see more details on forum. Also, I can show you where on this page. This is summary ranking and like source data if you want to check by yourself. And another thing is we asked also a wide variety of Freeton community members to provide feedback on our articles, feedback about the quality. And thank you. We want to thank you all people who really write it us back. And you can also read it all on the forum on the same page. We translated it into English for your convenience. So thank you. It was all. Also, we want to soon make a roadmap with like some changes we want to make in our working processes. So thank you. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Anastasia. Yeah, I see several right away. Let's begin with Benjamin. Ben, I just called you Benjamin, dude.
I'm very formal. Gosh, am I in trouble?
It was such a formal presentation that it got me in the state of mind. Ben, please go ahead.
No, I was just about to say great presentation. It was a bit of a cheeky question, to be honest. Have you guys been keeping an eye on the I forget the name of the contest now, the contest to update Wikipedia processes and such? And if so, are you guys kind of thinking of working with this or?
Free encyclopedia.
You stole my question.
Yeah, I was keeping an eye, but like partly that because I was really busy in all that stuff. And as I know that it was kind of for the big Wikipedia, for their processes, because they're not so good. As I already mentioned, Freeton page in big Wikipedia is kind of small and has 2 languages. And I also tried to fix it, to renew some information there, and I was banned. Like after 1 correction, I was banned. So it's kind of
That's exactly why we need it. Yep.
Yeah. So I can say that I read like a couple of submissions, and I received some ideas about what we can do in the future in our Wikipedia to build it more like more useful for people, more comfortable to use, and more comfortable to authors to work in it.
Yeah, there were definitely a lot of good ideas in those submissions. You guys could kind of lean on or not plagiarize, but have a look at integrating. I think for sure. Thank you.
Hack. The word is hack.
Hack. That's the one. Not plagiarize.
Darkwing, unless the question is answered.
Oh, the question Ben stole my. But yes, it was about the results because I know that there is one submission with high score, very high score in free TON, and it has a very detailed description of mechanics which offer of the work proposed. That's why, yes, it was interesting. How you plan to use it to implement in our Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand you. Yeah.
Okay.
It's really useful.
And by the way, as I can see in community chats, are you planning to have, I don't know, some design contest for example, maybe it's only my opinion, maybe for the main page to make it more usability, like kind of pictures, something like this. Do you plan to do something like this?
I can say that there are possibility to, you know, to connect with web and design subgovernance. We already have some chat about this, but it's you know, it mainly regarding to another things like more pictures and some stuff. And as for you know, the skin of the Wikipedia, it's a bit more difficult because it requires like technical things, like some, you know, I'm humanitarian, but you know, it's kind of code with code or something. So it should like should like attached for more so it's more complicated work than just
yeah, I understand.
Words kind of, yeah. So if it's possible, it is good. I think it's as for me, as I think it's it needs more like maybe some you know, like in big Wikipedia there are some squares with different like portals and these
some buttons, some
the article
like cards,
some maybe statistics, this kind of I think
maybe
it's better like this, but it requires some technical guys. If somebody can do it, please come to us.
Maybe one of the way can be to do one landing page on this. You have domain freeton.wiki. You can place there only HTML page with style and so on, and with the links which will redirect to your wiki. Yes, it's the topic to discuss separately, I think. Thank you for answering your question and presentation.
Thank you, Josh.
If I can just interject, I also think that the free encyclopedia contest is a little more technical than just wiki in general. So I just wanted to add that. So Michael, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. It looks pretty detailed and stuff. But the thing that I'm missing in this document is the statistics of the users and of traffic. I think that you should be measuring how many visitors you have daily, monthly, and stuff, how many unique visitors, how many of them are returning. Do you have the statistics, and can we see it, please?
We have statistics by Google, and we will post some on the forum. And also, as for comparing with another Wikipedias, it's kind of, you know, let's close data for them.
No, I mean our wiki, the understanding of maybe what potential different languages have, like, you know, do we have to make the Turkish version, like, you know, or French version, or we should stress upon the English or Russian or Chinese. So because as far as I see it from the, you know, promotional standpoint for marketing, Wikipedia, as it has lots of materials, should have pretty good statistics regarding the organic search for Google and both for Yandex as well. So I think that if you don't have the Yandex Metrica, you should add it to the site as well. And the statistics of the users is generally the most clear and understandable thing that should be analyzed. So if you could just, yes, please do post some stuff on the forum and let's see which are the stronger parts of your work and which should be boosted and maybe some should be just dropped. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question. Are there any other questions for Anastasia? I keep calling you Anastasia because your nickname is Anastasia, but I know you're Anastasia, but okay, sorry. Any other questions?
Very quick one, Nastya. So what was the feedback on the table on the forum? Because I just looked, there are like 41 replies. What's the bottom line? Is it a credible table? Can I tweet it credibly, mentioning that we're number 3 kind of Wikipedia thing in crypto, or that would be a little bit of an overstatement? Because I don't want to ruin my reputation on Twitter. I don't want to be crashed by 20 people saying this is bullshit. Sorry for my French. So, like, I mean, what's the final on this one? What's the bottom line on this table where we're number 3?
I don't know what to say because there are some like many questions in the topic regarding the as it appeared in another Wikipedia, like big Wikipedia. The people thought that it was about 2 articles in the big Wikipedia, but not ours, and that's the big amount of the discussion is about this. I don't know. I don't know how what to add, because as for me, I worked like for the structure, and I was not like it wasn't meaning for compete with somebody like it was meaning for compete for just to make it better than it is now, and it, make it even better than it was, and it become after that, something like this.
Understand, thank you. So I'll probably let Ben tweet it first and see what happens, and then
I've already tweeted it. To be honest, I'm not shy, Alex. To be fair, you're actually quite clear in the metrics in your diagram there. You mentioned it was you analysed the data of the number of articles, active authors, and registered users. So again, I mean that seems pretty. As long as you guys are doing your homework, that's all fair sport in my eyes.
Are there any more questions or comments for Anastasia, for Wiki? If not, I guess I sort of have a little bit of a reputation for being the sourpuss in the room, oftentimes being the evil guy. So not to further promote that conception, but I do have a couple of questions, and they may be a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, so the first thing I'd like you to address, there was an analytics report put out regarding the amount of rewards that the Wiki Subgovernance pays out to individuals, which is roughly 3 to 4 times the off-chain marketing standard. That's question number 1, I guess, if you can address that. The second is that the initial members of the Wiki Subgovernance have been, to whatever extent, I think, pretty much it's been made at least quasi-transparent that the system that's in place right now in the Wiki Subgovernance works very much like a corporation. It's very centralized. It's almost like a pay yourself kind of deal with the initial members. And I'm personally not a very big fan of that. And I think I've made myself very clear in the forum about that. And I'm sure everybody's probably read about it. And so, you know, if you want to challenge me, feel free to do so. But rather than focusing on the negative, I would like to ask whether you would consider reforming, like the global governance just reformed, your own initial members. in order to maybe diversify it a little bit and let the multi-sig be a little safer, so that it doesn't work basically like a salary generating subgovernance, which I feel it is at the moment. Can you respond, please? And Anastasia, I know I would normally not ask you this, but you've been put in front today, so you know when you're in the lightning rod, you have to take the hits. So if you could address that, I'd really appreciate it.
I'm a bit confused because you know that maybe you know, maybe you don't. Our multisig is like we have like a lot of members, like not 5 or 10, like maybe around 20 or something like that. I don't remember, but something like that. And is that a problem?
Well, at the moment, what have you read the analytics report that was put out by Analytics and Support Subgovernance?
Yeah, I read it, but I personally think that it's not it's not relevant, because the first, what's about market price? It's all about market price. What is the market for the articles that you can where you can go and ask for a article about subgovernance? Who would write it? It's only for community members in Freeton, and not only just members, like recently members, but for members that are like for months is here, because only such members know everything to write it. That's the one thing. And another thing that you should remember, that I kind of have content related contests in Freeton, and this you can compare. And what is the content related contests were? It's DPR, it's Hackernoon, and it's was it essay? It was about essay. So with it you can compare, and if you can compare it, if you will compare it, it will like the otherwise. So it will be like less rewards than in all these contests. So I personally think that it's not here. It's not about market price. You can just say that it's all about market price. We kind of have here a meritocratic distribution system, and it's not about paying like in the market.
Okay, so
I want to say about Hackernoon contest, because I personally participate not in this contest and in organizing this contest. It was the first, and I think the first great contest in SMM. And with this contest, we attract Hackernoon as partner for Freeton. And from this contest, don't say
your connection is a little shaky. Yeah, we lost you. Sorry, Michael, you had a question. We'll get back to you, Darwking, as soon as you come back. Michael?
It's not really a question. I would like to be a proponent of yours here when speaking about the number of rewards, the amount of rewards, that it's double, triple the size of the freelancer rate or something. I think that this approach is not correct because, first of all, we're talking about contests. Yeah, it's not a grant that is directly fixed and put to someone's hands. It's not the first time that you mentioned that, okay, let's see how much this work costs on a particular marketplace or wherever. So when we have contests, I think that it's incorrect to draw a direct line between the contest rewards and, say, grant rewards for a particular job done. Like, you know, if we go to comparing the sum for creating or a web extension or a website, a catalog or infographics or whatsoever, and you will see that, okay, if you calculate those basing on the market price for some stuff, we will be having a very long conversation. That's really my point. It's not directed to Wiki directly, but it's a question of global, like, you know, reward modeling. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great point, and you worded it better than I did. So yeah, let me rephrase what I was trying to say. In other words, at the moment, if anybody goes and sees how the Wiki Subgovernance works, it's essentially basically it's not a, we can call it a reward structure, but it's really a salary structure. We're going to pay you to do this. That's not how this works. How it's supposed to work is we run a contest, and the contest shouldn't have the amounts that your contests do. That is my personal opinion. The amounts that the amount of tokens that you give away for contests, and comparing it to other contests is, I mean, we've talked about this a million times in so many different calls and discussions. Is you know, you're not going to compare it to, you know, like a validation contest that has hundreds of millions of tokens or something like that. The fact is, it's a contest. So let's, for instance, I don't know, you enter, I'm just going to wing it here, a hot dog eating contest. All right. It shouldn't compensate you for the amount you need to go and buy, I don't know, groceries or something like that. It's just a contest. You can either enter it or not. And it's up to you whether you want to participate. But when we're talking about amounts that basically qualify as salaries, let me be very, very neutral here. It raises questions. That's all.
I think that maybe guys from Wiki could think of some models that will, you know, like mutate their salary lookalike rewards into real contests. Like maybe picking the best authors, like lowering the token amount maybe for some works, but adding additional contests for the best author, for the best technical author, etc., etc. So like you will be having even more tokens, but they will be distributed like, you know, in the decentralized fashion as we all like through the contests. And I think that was Ron's point, and I will be, like, you know, adding something to it.
That is correct. And let me just underscore that despite that, if it was Wiki Subgovernance Incorporated, you guys are doing a fantastic job. You guys are doing a really good job. But unfortunately, it can't work like a corporation. And so maybe you just need to make a few adjustments. I'm sorry, Darkwing, you're back. Please go ahead.
Yes, I think, yes, maybe the way to solve this problem, it's about just an idea just now, to involve maybe more people and attract more people from community, and especially, for example, creating contests like when other members of subgovernments review and score articles. For example, you have number articles about different subgovernments or number technical articles. And for example, judges from DevX, DeFi can judge these articles, and that will create more involvement in your subgovernments. Just an idea, I think.
Cool, thank you. It's interesting.
Yes, it's maybe with this, more people will be involved and contest will be more transparency. And it's great, I think, because, for example, yes, developers will judge articles if they're good or not. And the best will give the best rewards. Something like this. So.
Okay, we will think.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we're running over today, guys. I actually thought this was going to be like a 30-minute call. There goes my futures career. Really quickly, now we have a new segment that we're going to, I personally coined this. I call it Ben's Snippets. Sorry, Ben. I couldn't think of anything more colorful. If you want to come up with something better, by all means.
I would have gone for Ben's Bits, but you know, that's just me.
Then that's what it is. It's Ben's Bits. Ben's Bits and Ben's.
Yeah, everyone tune in. Come see Ben's Bits. We love it.
Ben's Bits. But basically, what we're going to do is at the end of every call, we're going to have a Ben's Bits segment where he's going to talk about community factoids, anything else we may have missed, anything worth mentioning. Now, I was going to say that normally we'd want to do this so long as the call was under an hour. But since this is the introductory phase, I guess we're going to have to make an exception. Ben, you're going to have to go ahead. But I want to make a quick announcement. I'm not going to be here next week. So next Tuesday's call is going to be hosted by Ben, which I think everybody will be much happier about since he has a British accent. And nobody really likes listening to me anyway. But on that note, mate, go ahead.
Right, here we go. Let's get this. Two minutes and I'll let you all go. So first of all, I had a couple of questions from some of the Dune network people, which is obviously still ongoing. So one at a time. First question, it's been a few weeks since we've had any updates. What's been going on? So we've had lots going on, basically. DPools and incentivized vesting smart contracts have been being tested and set up. Testnet testing, relays, smart contracts. Pavel might be able to give you more details. If you want to look into the technical stuff, send him a message. He's always happy to help people out. Second question was, can we have a date, please? Short answer, no, sorry. As Mitja will protest, the only question developers and all these people can never answer is when. So yeah, it works when it works, guys. Basically, it'll be as soon as possible. Third one, OLABS tokens, vesting, same as everyone else is the answer. Question 4, where can we watch the swap transaction? Is there a link? There's not just one transaction, there's a lot of transactions going via multiple smart contracts and relays. So ton.live and Dunscan will be the best places to kind of watch both sides of things. Yeah, Ton Live. Yeah, of course. So that's it for the June questions. Next up, Nina, who's been popping up in the little YouTube chat on the side, has started a bit of an exciting little side project off the back of the academy. The Academy Subgov Children's Education kind of thing. All very new, but we had a little call last night. So if anyone has an interest in children are our future and all that, get involved. Third up, there's a really big GBA event at the end of the month. The ever enigmatic, ever exciting Mr. Morozov.
Tell everybody what GBA is.
The Government Blockchain Association. So my friend and lots of people's friends, Gerard Dash, has been leading this one. Obviously, he's a big influential guy. There will actually be an opportunity for a lot of the Ton Labs guys and some of the other guys, to be presenting in front of some very influential US policymakers and decision makers. So again, watch this space for that one. That'll actually be happening in DC as well at the end of the month, although I think most of our guys will be joining remotely apart from Eugene. Next up, Surf wallets. Everyone loves Surf wallets. There's a YouTube channel for them featuring yours truly, with a few instructional videos. So anyone new, send them that way. It's really easy. I've set a video up. You can set up a Surf wallet in 90 seconds. Brilliant. Okay. Also, there's a new feature coming to Surf Wallet. Those of you keeping an eye on the forums will have noticed an activation feature. Yay! So no more of this messing around with, which exchange can I withdraw from? Do I need a memo? Any of that bollocks? They just click a button. Sorted. Excellent. They get, I think it's 0.07 ton to their wallet. So, enough to get them started. And it's all been very cleverly funded via staking from the Surf team. So congrats to them. Desocial heroes, desocial. You might notice there's going to be a lot more social media activity going forward. We've got people from all in the community. I won't name check everyone, but Nima, me and you rocking the Twitter, buddy. And last but not least, never mind the coins, never mind the shit coins. We're all adults here.
Did you actually manage to somehow censor that?
Yeah, I censor myself automatically, Ron. It's the benefits of having an 11-year-old around sometimes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome, mate, I tell you. But yes, honestly, when we started this show a couple of months back, it was a bit of a crazy experiment. The risk seems to be paying dividends, though. You know, everyone else is zigging with their kind of podcast content, so we're zagging. It's very different. It's old school radio style, and yeah, lots of people seem to be taking to it, which is a good thing. Not only have we been named the 17th best cryptocurrency podcast today by FeedSpot, which not sponsored content or anything like that. They genuinely emailed me out the blue saying, "Hey, Ben, you know, we really like your shizzle." Not only that, but we've got some huge names for Series 2, and I don't want to name drop, but Joel Com from the Bad Crypto Podcast is going to be on episode 1. Yay! And we got some big other names there as well. As well as obviously all your favorites from the labs. You know, these guys are still going to be here. It's still going to be, you know, everyone we know and love. And not only that, but thanks to our good friend Utsav at Hackernoon, I've been speaking to some very interesting people from Blockster, which is a new cryptocurrency social media platform. And I don't even think I've told Ron or Alex or anyone this yet. I only had a call with them last night. They really like what we've been doing and would like to get involved with producing kind of an exclusive first edit of the show themselves to put out onto their platform,
Really?
which will involve them blasting it out to 20,000 email addresses and 500,000 monthly visitors via their block desk streaming service. Yeah, I was a little worried about the word exclusive when I first kind of heard about it, but it's nothing big. Basically, they'll be doing, I think, possibly a slightly shorter version of it, maybe a slightly more safe for work version. We'll still be doing the proper podcast with all your, you know, your weird sex terms and all that kind of dirtiness at the end. And yeah, brilliant. Like I say, it's been amazing. I genuinely did not expect it to take off this way, but if you've not checked it out yet, you're missing out. You're missing out. The funniest quiz panel podcast in the world, which is a very niche thing, but riches are in inches, as they say. And that's it from me, I think.
How about that? Now that's the way to end.
4.5 minutes, not
fantastic.
bad.
Fantastic. Absolutely awesome stuff. Cool. All right. Thank you, Ben. Thank you very much. We do have just a couple of quick questions from YouTube, and then we can all say goodbye. Somebody's asking, what about the global mobile top-up partnership? There's silence from them for months. You're talking about Nebius. No, there's not silence for them for months. That partnership was brought by one particular member of global governance, and there's ongoing work with them. They absolutely are integrating, doing a lot of things, but they basically don't want to pop their head above the water until everything's done. Turns out it's a lot more complicated than originally thought, but no, they're absolutely busting their butts. So look forward to seeing something hopefully in this month, worst case scenario next month. So yeah, they're not silent. Oh, rather, they're silent, but they're working. I know this firsthand. Right. We have a few comments. This is amazing. I want a free ton card. Kudos to Pi Capital. How will the card? We answered that. Woohoo, I want it. Woohoo, you'll get it. And a bunch of cheers for Wiki Subgov. Woohoo, Wiki. And that is it. That is all. So last call for questions, comments. Hour and a half today, guys. Wow, I'm again surprised by that.
No, nice short one. Not much going on this week, was there, Ron?
And that's how I started out too, because we had 2 cancellations. Imagine if we had 2 more presentations. So anyway, thank you all for coming. Love to see you all here every time. Again, I'll miss you next week, but I will see you the following week. Have a great rest of your week and a great weekend, and keep plugging away. Love you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.